Hello everyone, this is MetroGamer21 here. The Metroid series is by far one of my favorite franchises, besides Sonic of course. And despite some of its stumbles in the early to mid 2010s, it still remains as a franchise that is still loved by several people, myself included. With Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon, I figured I'd make some Metroid-focused videos in the lead up to the game's release. And what better way to start than with a video discussing my favorite Metroid game and my personal all-time favorite, Super Metroid. Super Metroid was released on the Super Nintendo on March 19th, 1994, and is considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time. Unlike franchises like Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon, Metroid isn't one of Nintendo's biggest hitters, but it still garners a massive following even to this day. It is even considered as one of the best games for the speedrunning community. But I'm not here to discuss the history of Super Metroid, as it's likely been done to death at this point by others who do a much better job than it than I ever will. I'm here to discuss why it's my favorite game of all time, and how it was one of the games that shaped me into the gamer I am today. I was first exposed to Super Metroid probably when I was around 4 or 5 years old, and even though I had never experienced the series beforehand, I instantly fell in love with it as a kid, and still love it to this day. There were so many aspects about the game that I loved, from the environments, to the gameplay, the music, the boss battles, power-ups, you name it. As I got older, I've been looking into the lore of the game and the series in general. Also, side note, as a kid, for the longest time, I've always referred to Samus as Super Metroid, and I had no idea what her name was at the time. I mean, I was a dumb kid back then. Can you blame me? Regardless, there's a lot that I do love about the game. For one, I love how smooth and floaty the gameplay is. Samus being able to aim in many different directions that made combat easy, but not so easy for kid me, as most of the time I had no idea what I was doing, especially when it came to the puzzle solving. I really loved exploring the different locations of planet Zebes, such as Crateria, Brinstar, Maridia, Norfair, you name it. Exploring these areas and finding upgrades and collectibles while encountering different creatures of the planet, while also having a sense of isolation, just adds to the experience of the game. This was what made me fall in love with the series in the first place. A few of my favorite upgrades include the Speed Booster, where you can run at high speeds, destroying enemies in the way and breaking speed boost blocks. The Grapple Beam, where you can swing across large gaps using the grapple blocks, though the space jump kinda renders that useless, but it's still fun to use, especially during the Dragon fight. I also love the Ice Beam, which can let you freeze some enemies and use them as platforms, and the Morph Ball, which allows me to enter gaps I normally couldn't get through. While some of the other games did try to capture that similar magic, nothing, at least in my opinion, will ever come close to Super Metroid. I still love some of the other Metroid games in the series, but Super will always remain as my all-time favorite. As for the soundtrack for this game, it sounds incredible, especially for the Super Nintendo sound chip. Definitely one of the most amazing Metroid soundtracks in my opinion. It captures the atmosphere of the area or the situation, such as boss fights or the escape sequences. My personal favorites being the red Brinstar track and the rocky Maridia area, as they're both calm and serene while also having the feel of an alien world. I also love the theme of Ridley's Lair. The choir and drum beats of the track really give off an air of menace. Then you've also got the bosses and mini-bosses. They were a bit of a challenge for me as a kid, as some of these fights took some strategy to figure out how to beat them, and not just straight up shooting at them. Like for example, Kraid, you can only damage him when his mouth is open. Or even Crocomire, where you have to push him back until he reaches a bridge, where he then breaks it due to his size, and he falls into the acid. While frustrating for me back then, these bosses were fun to fight and figure out. In the Dragon boss battle, you can fight it in two different ways, either using missiles and charge shots on its stomach, or use the grapple beam on the broken turret and use the electrical current to quickly defeat it. I personally love doing the latter. There is also one of the most memorable moments of the game, and even though it's over 30 years old at this point, there will be some spoilers here for the end of the game, so click away from the video or skip to the timecode shown on screen if you wish to avoid being spoiled. You have been warned. Once you have defeated the 4 main bosses, Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley, you now have access to the final area of the game, Toria, where, as you head deeper in, you encounter a large Metroid and it attacks you, but stops before you die. I never fully understood this at first, as, again, I was a kid at the time, but this was actually the baby Metroid Samus had spared in Metroid 2. Then during the final showdown with Mother Brain, which seems almost impossible to beat at first, and you're reduced to low health, before she can finish off Samus, the baby Metroid saves her by absorbing the boss's blast and giving our space heroine the energy before it sacrifices itself to save her, and Samus is given the Hyper Beam. After seeing this moment as a kid, I was honestly heartbroken, and even to this day, whenever I see that moment, I still get heartbroken as an adult. Samus had grown a bond to the baby Metroid after Metroid 2, even if she didn't show it, and to have it taken away from her like that had made her devastated, as she had lost her own parents to the space pirates when she was a child. If you've read the Metroid manga or looked up any information about it online, you'll know what I mean. This game had so much to it, from the gameplay, to the sound design, the environments, the boss fights, and the lore. The fact that it had almost been cancelled 3 times due to it being ambitious really speaks how passionate the team was to making this one of the best video games to date. I commend those who worked hard to make this game possible, despite the Super Nintendo's limitations. There is so much that I love in this game, but I'd hate to repeat myself. It really is considered as a masterpiece by many, and I really don't blame them for thinking that. While it does have its moments where it's not perfect, I still consider it as an amazing video game and a fantastic entry into the Metroid series. I've had a really strong attachment to this game, and being able to play it again, I really appreciate it much more as an adult, but I guess it's just a nostalgia talking. Thanks for watching this video of me rambling about why I love Super Metroid, even if it did seem like an analysis video at points. But I cannot help but gush over the game that made me who I am today. At least one of them, of course. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and comment what your favorite Metroid game is and why you love it so much. If you wish to see more from my channel, feel free to subscribe. It's entirely up to you. Any form of support is appreciated. Thanks again for watching. This is Metro Gamer 21 signing up for now. I will catch you guys in the next video, and remember, you all keep on gaming, gamers. Bye!